In this video, we'll see how to create the single business asset that will allow you to start delegating and start living. SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures, documents that will explain your team how to do the things so they don't need you at all times. We'll cover the SOP structure that I use personally and that all of my clients use. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how to create those SOPs automatically using AI. By the way, this video is part 2 of our SOP series. In the first video, we covered how to identify which SOPs to create. So if you still have doubts about that, I would recommend you to watch that video first that you will find in the description of this video before continuing with this one. Cool, so let's get into how do we actually create these SOPs. For me, every SOP has to have 6 differentiated sections. And for showing you each of these sections, I'm gonna use the first SOP that I created for the first task that I ever delegated, which was how to upload my monthly sales to my accounting software. So let's see which is the first section of an SOP. It is the purpose. Okay, so why do we have purpose inside of an SOP? Well, a task without a direction and a reason of being is pointless. Let's put yourself in the shoes of someone who is going to do this SOP, so who is going to actually execute the action. When you know why you are doing something, it makes the task much more fun and important. And then that person is gonna do it better and even happier. It's like knowing the story behind a game. It just makes it more exciting to play it. So why are we doing the task? Is it helping to something greater? So this is what comes in this first section. And we can take a look at what I wrote here. This guy provides a step-by-step process for downloading financial data from various services and uploading it into our accounting software. This is needed for Spain's tax agency to calculate the amount of taxes to pay every quarter and at the end of every fiscal year. So here we can see that the stakes are high and we know why we are doing what we are doing. So let's go to the second part of the SOP, which is the context. When are we gonna be doing this task? Because every task is triggered by something. And this can be typically one of two things. First, time. There are tasks that we just do every week or every month, such as, for example, the weekly review or this SOP in particular that is done every end of the month. And then we have other kinds of tasks that are triggered by an event that is not recurring. For example, a client wants an invoice, tell it to us, and that will be the trigger of us generating and sending the invoice. So this is what we are going to be writing inside of this section. In this case, this will be at the end of every month, and that is it. Now, the third part of the SOP is the resources needed. This here because in order to follow an SOP, we may need access to many different resources. So it is a good practice to place these resources on top of the SOP before the step-by-step of it. Why? This way, the person that is going to follow can check whether or not he has access to all the resources before even starting to do the task. Because if this is not part of the SOP, what typically happens is that the person is going to start executing the task step by step, and then at the middle of the task, he's going to realize that he's missing access to some Google Drive folder. So then he will have to stop the task, ask for a request, and then wait for that permission to be given to him. And then he can pick up the task again. So this is a huge time waster. So by having this on the top of the SOP, we minimize this. So here in this example, we have all the different apps that the person following the SOP will get access to. So he can just click on each of them, and if he has access to them, then he can continue. The next part of the SOP is the video. I personally always recommend having a video that shows how to do the task. If it is a digital task, then we can use Loom or whatever screen recording software. And if it's a physical task, we can ask someone with a smartphone to record us doing the task. Even if later we're gonna be describing the task itself using text, sometimes it is better to have a video as a backup, just in case we didn't do a very good job with the text, because this will prevent people asking us questions on how to do things. Also, some people are more visual than others and they will prefer video. And here I have one recommendation for recording these SOP videos. While you are performing the action, narrate what you are doing as if the person consuming the video is blind. So this means, now I'm gonna move the mouse to the top right of the screen and I'm gonna click on the button that says share. And after this, a pop-up is going to appear and now I'm gonna click on XYZ, so like this. And this is gonna be helpful for what I'm gonna share at the end of the video that is related to AI. Now, the fifth part of the process, this is probably the part that you are most used to, which is the step-by-step process. This goes hand in hand with the video. And here we will write step by step every action that the person following the SOP will have to follow. If there is any resource that the person has to open, we will link it also in the SOP, so he doesn't have to scroll to the top and understand which one he needs to open. Here in the step-by-step process, if there are any subsections, we will be able to use headings, bigger headings, smaller headings, and this is basically the step-by-step of everything that the person needs to get done. Here it is very important that all the steps are sequential and that we put ourselves in the shoes of the person that is going to follow them. Just think that the person that will follow this have no idea what you are talking about. And only after that you can start writing the step by step. And the last section of the SOP, it is the definition of done. How do one person know if the task has been completed? The purpose of this section is to give the person that is following the SOP a way to understand whether he's done or not. It's basically a double check, because if he followed all the step by step, probably he's done. But with this section over here, we really make sure. This statement should be binary, either it's done or not, which means that it's very short. In the case of this SOP, all the transactions that happens during the past month have been taken into account within Factura Directa, which is the software, and that is it. Well, now before I get to how to create SOPs automatically with using AI, I've noticed that only 15% of you subscribe to the channel, and I want to be able to help more people find freedom with their businesses. So when you subscribe, you tell YouTube that this video is valuable, and therefore it shows it to more business owners. And more people can be free. So please do me a favor, go a little bit down, click the subscribe button, and after that, and once you've done that, we will continue with the video. Okay, so if you've subscribed, let's continue. So remember that I told you that when you were recording the video in Loom, that you will have to narrate what you were doing as if the other person was blind? Well, this was for a purpose, because after you have recorded the video, you will get all this transcript, every word that you have said in the video. And this is the actual video that I use to create the SOP that I showed you before. So what we're going to do here is just keep it here. So, okay, we have the transcript. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to ChatGPT. So let's open it. And we are going to write the following prompt. This basically just makes ChatGPT understand that he is a writer and what we want him to do, which is basically to take our transcript and turn it into an SOP. I will leave you this prompt in the description of the video. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Loom, copy the transcript, go back to ChatGPT and paste the transcript. And that is it. ChatGPT is writing the SOP for us. And there you go. Now you will just have to proofread it, make sure that everything makes sense, add any images if you want, and that's it. It took like 30 seconds. So well, in the next video of this SOP series, we're gonna cover how once you have identified all the SOPs and you have written the actual SOPs, how to organize them so your team can search and can find what they are looking for. So head over to video 3 of this series and I will see you over there. That is it for this video, guys, and as always, hasta la próxima.